Welcome everyone, my name is DemEyesRed and I'm hereby presenting you the semi-final between Viper versus MbL. Alright, there we are. So just gonna quickly check if this is true. It is true, Viper playing with the red color. Certainly interesting to see this one. And let's just start with player number 2 here right away. That is Viper in the north. And looking at the space, right away we can see that here's this hill in front of his base. Also not the best situation. Gold wise, well, second gold is there. First gold is to the sides. He has a decent wood line in the back. Another wood line to the left hand side. Safe stone in the back. Also knows about all the positions of the boars of his. He has awkwardly positioned sheep in the front. But most likely he's going to find out about them in a couple of seconds. And I'd say this space is too much of an open thing here in my opinion. This gold is hard to protect. It's thankfully for him it's not forward, but it's just to the side. Therefore it's not as awkward as it could have been. Still, I think there's some potential for his opponent to raid him in a way that he would have no access to these gold piles. Therefore, I'd assume that Viper should play a tiny bit more aggressively. We have to keep in mind this is Huns war. That means, of course, we are going to watch some fast-paced games, probably some scouts or something like that. And the reason for that is, of course, the Huns with the nice bonus of having faster working stables. Therefore, why not going for a quick scout rush there? Alright, so let's see about his opponent in the south. That is obviously MbL in green. And looking at the space, we can see, yep, wood line really bad here due to this hill, but still it could be protected in a way. And then to the right, there's nothing much, but all of his resources. At least the stones on the front. What about his gold? So he's, oh, okay, gold in the back. Didn't realize it, to be honest, but it's actually hard to protect unless he goes for an awkward long wall. Then it's kind of safe for now. I mean, not for now. It won't be safe at this very moment. So, not sure. It's also not too close to TC, therefore there's a lot of potential due to this hill also that Viper could actually deny these piles as well. So I see arguments for MbL as well to play it more aggressively. Let's see about what's going to happen. Deer patch also quite far away from MbL's base. The deer patch of Viper. Where is it? Well. Oh, there we go. Also not that good, is it? So I think, judging what we can see here, no merit arms incoming at least for MbL. Ooh, 2 villages on woods. Okay, probably gonna see some towers. He had 3 villages there, I believe, and now he just considers doing something else, or is he? I know. These players are so high with their elo that it's hard to assume what they actually go for. It's always a kind of, what you call that, a surprise. Yeah, now all of a sudden the wood count looks good. So I don't know. Let's see what's gonna happen. Both players are about to find out about each other's location. Viper, as we know him, should know about the position already. Yep. And what about MbL? Yeah, he now knows as well. Okay, so what are we going to see is the big question. Second, lumber camp. No villages on gold. It's gonna be a 22 pop for Viper. Not the fastest, as his opponent is already clicking up, going for 21 pop. Adding a second lumber camp. Also no gold, but just food for now. No farms from neither of the players, interestingly. And some deer being pushed, I believe. Or is it? Yeah, indeed. Viper not doing the same. So what are we about to see? Scouts most likely. Unless, of course, Viper does something really weird. But maybe not this game. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just check out the previous matches of Viper in this tournament, then you'll know. And yeah, so far quite a classical move from both of the players. MbL is just faster as he has one villager less clicking up. And most likely it's going to be just a simple scout rush from both of the players. As Viper clicks up later, he's maybe even adding a spearman right away once he is in feudal age, just to make sure that the incoming scouts of MbL will have a tougher time to actually do something inside of the base of his opponents. Alright, stable now there, incoming for Viper. And the same should be taking place for MbL, there we go. MbL, all the time also adding spearmen to his army. He doesn't use those spearmen in a defensive way, he just goes forward with them. Just to be able to engage in little scout dances, as I like to call them. And yeah, now it's about time to go for some walling. I like this one actually. This one will force Viper's units to go close by to this TC when trying to go for this area. As MbL now is forced to secure this one here. And once he drags a palisade like that or adds another building here, this area will be, at least this area will be secured due to this little choke point being created. That helps a lot against any infantry and archers and stuff like this, but against scouts I'm not the biggest fan of that, of course, as they can quickly go through the TCs, taking a little bit of arrow fire, but not dying to it, and then finally be inside of the base and causing havoc. Sonic Tick asking, is this live? Yes, well, I am live. This game is a recast. Alright, so as we can see, MbL already making some major moves. That is taking care of the pikeman as the spearman of Viper. And let's see if he will actually be able to go inside and cause some damage. In the meantime, Viper's doing the same concerning MbL's base, but also not that successful as MbL has added up even more spearmen. The farm counts look good for both players, especially the one of Viper. Potato Man asking for the score. Well, you can see the score here in the upper part if you didn't realize, just in case. Alright, so now this is the awkward situation that I was talking about. Viper now forced to go for this gold pile, naturally. But this is a huge opportunity for MbL to do something about it. If we just have a quick look at this. He doesn't know about the gold though, that's interesting. That's maybe not well scouted by MbL. An archer range is being added, that makes perfect sense. And I wonder when MbL will do the same, as he now is stockpiling a little bit of wood to go for it. So I've said both have a decent number of farms, therefore it's of course not that easy for them to go for more buildings, but now there's enough resources to build an archer range, and it's actually about time. Having 7 villagers on gold, it's a clear sign that he's going to add double archer range to his base and then go for archers as much as he can. Looking at the resources for Viper, 4 on gold, but let's see. That can change, of course. Are these just rated games, or this is records of a cast? This is Legacy of the Huns. I will just update the title in a couple of minutes and the brackets just for information. The thing is, before this match here, we have watched the tournament of the arena players, and as I'm alone here, it's sometimes a bit of how do you call it? I just got a lot of tasks to go for then, and I'll update it right away. Thanks for reminding me though. Eberk. Okay, Viper now on his way going forward here with towers, because why not? With towers like this, you can of course make sure that once he pushes forward with, as it seems, skirmishes and spearmen. I see, okay, a couple of archers added as well. A kind of late trash push, so to speak, with the addition of a lot of scouts, obviously. And we have to keep in mind, these are top players. I mean, by top players, I mean really top players here in this case. These are considered to be the arena pros. I'm sorry for this one. The Huns on Arabia pros. I was just saying arena due to the fact that I was casting this nice tournament with Timotheus together with him as a co-cast. And now I'm alone here, still need to adjust to this very situation, to these settings here. And yeah, actually, interesting move by Viper, but not as successful as he's imagined to be, like MbL just in time with his tower, those beautiful towers here. Nice graphics. Alright. So for now it's a little bit of a dance. We just need to keep in mind that MbL has more archers due to the fact that he has more villages on gold. This is not necessarily an advantage for him. He can maybe take care of spearmen and scouts a bit better, but those skirmishes when microed well will of course kill those archers like there is no tomorrow. Like it's literally nothing, you know? Now we have the super engagement. It looks good for Viper still, as he's still able to apply the pressure, sees forward, adding another tower. So as long as this continues, MbL is in a really troublesome situation. As you can see, he has only one tower. And you say, why doesn't he add another tower? Well, that's due to the fact that his stone piles are being denied. Therefore, Viper is in an excellent situation in which he can just carry on. He doesn't have to expect any more incoming towers. This is the reason why he just goes forward. I've mentioned it in other gameplays as well of Legacy of the Huns. These are top players. They know when not to engage. This is also a really important thing when it comes to decision making and engagement in fights. That is knowing that it's not a good thing to go for the base inside of the base, as there could be a trap or let's say something that could kill your whole army. As in, maybe there are defensive towers, and then you just go there with your infantry or your trash, and it'll just die to it. And you're maybe stuck there, park them beneath the tower, and then you're done for. But knowing that both stones of the opponent are just fully denied, you can now say, okay, there's no way that MbL has a second tower or something like this. A reason for Viper to still play it aggressively, sometimes even going a bit forward here inside of the space to apply more pressure. Really important to point out, looking at this base, a huge amount of farms, and MbL is clicking up, but about Viper here with 67 food, of course still in feudal age, maybe with the ambitions to finish it off right away here, as much as he can. We can see that he goes for scaleboarding armor in order to improve the scouts that he has already. They have bloodlines, and they can still get forging. But scaleboarding armor are even more important when taking arrow fire here, damage by arrow fire. And MbL does it quite well. For now, the situation seems kind of stable, but he's being surrounded, and the only way to relieve himself from this kind of pressure that I'm talking about, not the other kind of pressure that people previously pointed out in chat, I just mean that MbL is going for a counter raid, and this is going to be super important because he assumes well by saying, okay, there's a huge army in front of my base, that cannot possibly be unless Viper has no military at home. And there we go. There's a considerable amount of crossbowmen with botgun arrow, and therefore Viper all of a sudden in a dangerous situation in which he could lose all of his villagers. The villager count is quite impressive, 51 to 44. Okay, Viper, MbL has clicked up. This explains a bit of the amount of the missing villagers, but he's also losing a fair amount. And also he's adding calf archers to the crossbowmen, as well as his approach into the base of Viper. Somi says this army cannot be a threat anymore due to the fact that this is just feudal and he has crossbows. That is true indeed. There is a difference for sure, especially when ranged units are fighting each other. The range itself is really important, and Botganor versus Fletching, an indication that the crossbows, of course, are now considerably stronger. They can go for faster hits, so to speak, in the engagements. They can back off and hit faster and stuff like this, just because of this one range difference, and also they're just stronger. Alright, so Viper actually secured this base with a couple of towers, but I still think if these crossbowmen are here, this gold is denied. And if he just has it on stand ground and maybe make sure that these golds are not being used neither, suddenly Viper would have a bad thing to go for. What does the flags on the barracks and stables mean? That means that there's a unit inside. If we have some example at this very moment, I mean, in this case we have the flag here above the TC, and there's a villager inside. The same goes for other buildings and towers and stuff like this as well. Basically, each building that can, in which you can garrison units, either by garrisoning them or just keeping them inside by putting the flag on the building instead of outside of the building. Alright, so this is actually a nice attempt by MbL to get out of the situation. The addition of mangonels is a good one. That means that those towers all of a sudden in a troublesome situation when the villagers of MbL are able to repair it. But this also means that MbL is stuck with one TC for a longer time, as this siege workshop requires a lot of wood, of course having an impact on the wood amount that he has. I was going to point out, but wow, 1k wood. Of course, he needs to do something about it. He has a huge amount of wood there. Maybe a little bit of mismanagement of economy, I'd say. Now he's sold a decent amount to balance things out. And now he could go for another TC, interestingly. But he won't. He won't. For now, he maybe could even consider going for another archer range if he wanted to. That will depend on what he's going to face inside of the base of Viper, who's still not clicked up, by the way, for your information. Viper's still there with little resources, having the ambitions to win in Feudal Age. But I think this is not the right thing to go for. At the same time, we have to keep in mind that this is Viper we are talking about, someone who's definitely capable of surprising us here. Alright, so with Viper still being Feudal Age, that is the message that he delivers, and that says, hey, I think I will win this one at this very age. I think I still have my momentum. That is just adding up more scouts and probably win with it. Let's have a look at his stables. I mean, he has added way more stables. The amount of farms is incredible. But he's still missing foraging, by the way. So they're not fully upgraded according to the Feudal Age standards. Ebrak is asking this. No, I don't. I simply don't. I mean, I really don't know about the scores. Alright, so there we go. This is Viper's attempt to do something, to cause a lot of damage, while MbL wants to do the same, trying to reduce the numbers of villages. Now it's pretty much equal, 57 to 58. Still doesn't look too good for MbL, I gotta say. The problem here is that he is stuck with one TC for some reasons. Probably just in order to produce more calf archers. There's a huge amount of calf archers still parked inside of these archer ranges. And that is his way to answer to this feudal. He doesn't want to win by having the stronger economy. I mean, we've seen this in the previous matchup that we were casting together with DemEyesRed. In this case, it's gonna be 1 TC versus 1 TC. Alright, pressure is still on, and it seems as if MbL is not able to do something against it due to the fact that the amount of skirmishers seems to be still deadly enough, being on that hill. MbL cannot engage properly. The addition of battering rams could be helpful, maybe also provoking Viper to go do something about it. But there's this amount of scouts also able to get their hands on the battering rams. Let's see. Oh, look at this army still. Army numbers 49, 50 to 32. Viper's certainly doing his best to win by quantity here. Quite impressive, I gotta say. We've seen a couple of full feudals by many players, and some of them were really successful and impressive, but a couple of them were actually failing hard. Alright, so another TC is being added. MbL now feeling that, okay, I need to do something here, I need to have the better economy, secure some more area. Why not? Because my wood line, this one is just downright terrible. And before breaking through here, maybe I should just use this as a kind of wall, even though there's a gap here. And meanwhile we have this messy situation on the right hand side. Wow. Really impressive how Viper does it here. MbL is in a defensive situation. Probably one of the very best Arabia players here. At this very moment, MbL is forced to play defensively here. As Viper, the so-called masterpiecer, the master baiter, is just applying pressure in ways that many people would not expect it. More archery ranges being added. This is just incredible. Even this additional TC is just under pressure. Now it would be a terrible mistake by MbL to allow this army to go inside from other directions than from here. Let's use our hole detector if there's any potential that something could break through. Only this here is making me a bit anxious. But yeah, we can see it here, those skirms at least are annoying that much that this wood line needs to be given up right now by MbL. Just retreat somewhere else. This one here is a bit too much forward, as we can see. This one will last a tiny bit longer. Yeah, MbL needs to do something. He's still not able to have his leads concerning the military numbers, and villager numbers neither, interestingly. Okay, now we see the MbL going forward. This is his chance to do something. Okay, okay. Interesting for now. I just wonder how this one will end. Even though MbL is having his lead due to this military advantage in terms of the techs that he has, it's still so impressive how the quantity is at the moment just devastating. For MbL at least. He's about to lose it like this. Constantly working. Most of his military buildings are just constantly working, especially his stables. And yeah, we have to keep in mind that so many stables are of course able to pump out extreme amounts of scouts. This is the Huns we're talking about. Of course they got this huge advantage. Look at this, the scouts are in sight. If MbL is not able to defend this, it's gonna be over very, very soon for him. So now we gotta ask ourselves if going for calf archers was the right decision. Maybe knights could have been a choice as well. But for now we see more calf archers. Or are we? Yeah. And a couple of knights here and there. But yeah, this TC even under pressure now due to this toxic little tower of Viper. Crazy stuff. Look at this mess. This is really demotivating for MbL, I believe. Being in such a situation, even though he's facing a field age player here. And he simply is not able to apply pressure. I just wonder why. Oh my god. This army of Viper is just so huge. Without forging though. This is just a perfect number of skirms and the archers that he has, just in addition to kill and to keep MbL busy and prevent him from entering the base. Christian says Viper's gold has been denied though. Well, he doesn't have access to another gold, but for now it looks quite decent as constantly this army is being pushed back. So we gotta ask ourselves if this will continue like that, because now I still feel that Viper is somehow going back slowly but steadily, as this mess has been cleaned up. 79 villagers to 71. Maybe now Viper won't make it, even though this is a really bad fight for MbL. Most of the units here are uphill. There are fuel age units, of course, facing castle age units. Oh man, oh man. Alright, so if we have a look at the military numbers, MbL finally leading, also villager wise, and I think now Viper is losing his complete momentum here that he had. Or unless, well, he's still as toxic as he can be with his towers. Great towers, great towers. Super annoying. This is the main aim here. And these towers were just excellent. To deny MbL's stone income to do anything against those towers. I mean, concerning any counter towers, so to speak. And now I'm just wondering when MbL will finally break through here. For now I see those skirmishes being way too effective here. And knights certainly will be helping, forging, incoming, +2 defense already. As you all know, +2 is just the way to go, but not against this huge army here. I mean, it's not that much, is it? 17 only, but still the way they're being utilized is just so deadly. But I feel now, finally now, it's over. Yeah, there we go. We got the G disrespect by MbL. Maybe it was just pissed off by this full fuel here. Wow. Alright guys, so that was the first game. The first game. And MbL won that one. Update. There we go. And there we are, once again, back. I'll just quickly update the stream title though. Just for the sake of being correct here. Good prediction skill for when it's over. I didn't even catch it. Did I call it even at the right time? I mean, maybe the GG was already called and I didn't pay attention to it. Oh yeah. So let's have a look at the stream here for a second. So for the people on YouTube, sorry to make you wait here, but it'll be over in a couple of seconds. I just need to correct this one, as we were streaming something else. Okay, there we go. There is the stream. And I'll just give it the same name as yesterday or the day before, as far as I can remember. Yesterday, it was yesterday. Was it? I don't even know. Title. And the brackets. And there we go, guys. Now we're ready to continue. So game number 1 was nice. Still have more to watch, I believe. It's a best of 5, like I said, not best of 3. And there we go. Game is starting. Without further ado, let's go for it, guys. Let's just go for it. All right. Boom. Boom, there we are. What's up, what's up, what's up? 1v1 Viper MbL round number 2, semifinals. Huns War. Yes, sir. There we go. Starting with Viper. With in red, my mind is just exploding when I see this. It's just not his color, is it? But he actually doesn't care too much about it. I've heard him saying. Anyway, let's not deal with this one. Let's just deal with the matchup here. I'm looking at his base right away. Right away, seeing that he has a back gold, back stone. Like it. Second stone, yeah. First of all, kind of in the back. Also behind this wood line, so not that nice. The gold here is also not good. But yeah, this is actually fine. A palisade like that. And if necessary, a palisade like somehow like this. And then the space is secured to the back. And yeah, probably this part, of course, is really important. But when it comes to attacks from the front, like that could be nice to go for. Even though, now that I've closer look, MbL's on the left-hand side, therefore this part needs to be closed as well. Well, if Viper wants to close it off. To secure this, though, he needs to do something about it. Okay, so that's the current situation. I say the space is okay. We've seen worse for sure. Therefore, I'll just go with that one and say it's a base that you can work with. So, his opponent on the left-hand side, bottom left-hand side of this map, MbL. And right away we can point out he as well has his resource in the back, even though there's this ugly hill here. And potentially more difficult base to wall off. He could close this one off, but this one is really far away. Therefore, it's going to be difficult for him to secure this area like that. Whereas the other resources, by the way, having a look here. Don't tell me these are his secondary resources, nearly in the middle of the map. Well, I guess it is how it is. Extremely bad. This one here. Oh, this is going to be so nice for Viper to place a castle or, well, I don't know, military buildings just going to be nice for him. Aliye is asking if this is live. Well, I am live, but this is a recast. Just for your information. And yeah. The distance is not that much of a thing. Theoretically speaking, I see reasons to go for man-at-arms even. It could happen. But will we see it? Well, let's have a look. Let us have a look. Sorry for that one. For the mouse movement here. For MbL it seems like a scratch though. Could be anything pretty much, but let's see. But the graphics are different. Well, I'm using a couple of nice mods here. And yeah, these trees are actually from Age of Empires 1. And I think the... oh, by the way, this happened here. I think that the ground now looks way smoother, as I'm casting so much on MbL Fish as well as on my own channel. Of course, I need to have a pleasant view here for my eyes, so I can just cast as much as I want. Alright, so we can see here 10 gold being gathered. Yep, there's going to be drush into. Is it going to be a drush into archers? Well, that could definitely be. As I've said, a man at arms could be a nice thing to go for, as the distance is really not that much of a big thing. Not that far away, the TCs from each other. Therefore, why not? What does Viper know? Let's have a look at that. Well, not too much. He's just aware of the situation that there are a lot of resources here to the bottom left. And what about MbL? Well, he knows enough to know about the enemy's location. Viper now getting loom. It's gonna be most likely just drush into archers. Actually wonderfully done. Timing wise, just enough to go into the space while MbL is still in Dark Age. But excellent way to block it off. Now this whole area is safe. Viper needs to make a huge detour. And I believe that that was not enough of idle time to go for a drush. But for now, of course, as long as he keeps those militia alive, if MbL goes for a stable, that is being the case due to this economy that he has, there we go. He still is kind of forced to deal with this drush, unless he just doesn't care about being annoyed all the time. But that being said, of course, this is enough time for Viper to do something. In this case, having 4 villagers on gold, this is going to be a forward, of course, in addition with towers. So we're going to see an archer range most likely. Or, what are we about to see? Field age incoming now. So, I think you're going to see towers and archers here. Let's see. There we go. Alright, so what about the scouts of MbL actually? What are they doing? What will they do? There we go. Now MbL kind of forced to do something. It's not the biggest danger in the world, but it's annoying. And this is just enough time for Viper to do something else. This is just the placement of 2 archer ranges. But nearly a situation in which MbL could have been successful, but due to the addition of the spearman, of course, really nice. Yeah, I was thinking maybe a trash bush or something like this, but we're gonna see archers and spearmen. Spearmen just for the sake of dealing with the scouts, of course, but the main unit, two archery ranges producing archers, and stable, soon to be incoming, will be fletching, in addition for his archers as well as the towers. So let's have a look at his base here. He doesn't get any stone for now. Let's see how this one will work out, because now I'm curious what he will do with his villagers. Will he just go for some resources that he can get his hands on, as there's this hill here? Maybe. So for now, this wood line has been denied. This is of course excellent news for Viper and really bad news for MbL. MbL now moving to this wood line here in the south fully, and struggling to get up this tower. But oh yeah, also Viper with fletching that one fast. I didn't even catch it, but this is actually excellently done. As we know, Viper is someone who always says never attack without fletching, for given reasons. And in this case, this tower of course will be a bloody one. Not gonna say that villagers will die, but there has been a lot of idle time. There we go, and also a lot of low HP villager that we have here as a result. Oh, now I understand. Ali Yeşil Çimen. There we go. I said Ali. I'm sorry about this. He says that those are stupid towers, but these are just beautiful towers. Concerning the look. That was what I saying. What I was saying and talking about. Alright, so MbL now, is this a watchtower? Interesting. Just to secure this gold. And like I said guys, this is the back part of MbL, and of course he can be under a lot of pressure. I think it was not the wisest decision not to wall this one off. Let's see how this one will work, because Viper now still has a chance to deny this wood line and afterwards even go for this here. Unless MbL maximizes the amount of stone as soon as possible. Alright, so Horse Collar finally coming for Viper. He has a decent amount of farms already, so the effect will not kick in right away. Furthermore, he's going back now. That is because he realized that the scouts are going back and his base is fully open here. Just one spearman to save the day, and it's going to be a bit awkward to protect this area just with walls. I mean, it's going to take him a lot of time to do so. Where I'm from, I'm actually from Germany, but I have Turkish and Iranian descent, and therefore I can speak Turkish fluently as well as English and French. But of course German, my first language. Alright, so Viper's adding a stable here. I'm just asking myself if he's gonna stay in Fuel Age once again. I don't think so. Let's have a look here. 6 villages on gold though. This is just enough to maintain 2 archer ranges, archer production. If he had more villages, I'd say okay. But for now, he has even too much as he's busy placing this stable as well as more farms. Now there's a bit of an imbalance taking place in his base, but it's just fine. Let's have a look here. Wheelbarrow also incoming for the sake of his economy. What about MbL there for a second? He doesn't have wheelbarrow. Okay, so now that's an interesting one. Finally, MbL with the skirmishes. He has fletching and the padded archer armor. I guess he just has one archer range. Oh, more even incoming. Okay, so MbL certainly with the ambitions to go for the next age after some time. And also now busy with this incoming army. Certainly doesn't look too good. Viper is a bit too successful from the point of view of MbL at least. But yeah, it's just too difficult to secure his army here. At the end of the day, MbL is now making sure that this army finally dies. Oh, thanks for the comments, guys. Doing my best. I'm doing my best. What's my elo? I'm just a normal 16x Vulvi player, man. Just the average 16x player that you see. My ambition is to get up to 17x this year. But of course I only play when I'm not streaming, as I cannot focus otherwise. So it'll take me some time because I'm streaming quite a lot. On my own channel as well as on this channel. Thanks for the compliments, I really appreciate, guys. Just doing my best in order to entertain you and also to give you the best possible experience when watching tournaments. Alright, so Viper finally clicking up there. And MbL not on his way yet. He's getting wheelbarrow just now in order to improve his economy for sure. And Viper in the next age, gotta be the question what he will actually go for. I mean, with the addition of one more stable, this is an indication that he maybe wants to go for knights, but he doesn't have to. Well, the more I think of it, he'll do it. Bloodlines incoming, skateboarding armor incoming, of course. This is going to be a great improvement for his army composition when involving knights. Question is also going to be what his secondary unit will be. Where in Huns wars we often see 2 unit types fighting each other from each player. So it just depends on what MbL is going for, and with the addition of these 2 arch ranges. Basically, Viper has a chance to go for either a siege bar shot or improving his skirmishes. I mean, potential skirmishes. For now, he's chasing this little army of skirms by MbL. This is causing a lot of idle time for Viper, but it also makes sure that the army of MbL cannot do too much other than just running away. Alright, so let's see. The knights are incoming. It's also going to be the question when he will actually go for the +2 upgrade. But for now, what I've just missed out saying is he was, of course, constantly getting stone here, and that was not to place down more towers, but just to apply more pressure by building a castle in front of the base of MbL. This is extremely close to his base. Somehow a brave move here, but just fine enough as MbL is still not clicked up. I believe if Viper was too late, if it was not fast enough clicking up, he couldn't have afforded to go for this castle. Therefore, this was really important for him, as MbL now has nothing to do. Nothing that he can do against this castle here. Furthermore, his knights are able to clear up any kind of mess done by MbL, while he gets crossbowman and botgun arrow just to improve the current army that he has. But after that one, I believe going for calf archers is the next logical steps with 3 archer ranges. But I guess the mess is not evitable in this case, for MbL at least, because this castle is way more dangerous than the threat in the first game that we saw. It's gonna take a lot of time to do something against it. Targons even being added to the army, because why not? Why not? They do extra damage against buildings, so taking down watchtowers will be even easier. Denying more resources. MbL now under a lot of pressure, while he tries to go for some raiding himself. Of course, it's an excellent move, but when you go for a counter raiding, you just need to make sure that you go for kills like that, and this is actually excellent. Viper now taking heavy losses here at the same time. 44 villages to just 30. Ladies and gentlemen, Viper has 30 villages at this very moment. 29 even. He goes for a market. I wonder why he does that. What does he want to do with this? Buy more resources, maybe wood or something like this? He builds a second TC, this is going to be needed for sure. Alright. Also 3rd TC incoming by MbL. Also, as always important, we've learned that from the tournament we've watched before this recast here. On Arena, of course. Stark versus Metal. And yeah, for now Viper forced to go back here into his base just to make sure that this army is defeated. Ideally speaking, from the point of view of Viper. It's also going to be more difficult for Viper to maintain this kind of economy that he has. If he goes for more villages, and he does that, he cannot produce any more army. At least no more knights and Tarkans. This is going to be different for MbL, as his main units will not consume any food. It's going to be way easier for him to go for him. Way easier to mass up. You can see it here already, 24 to 9. These crossbowmen just doing a lot of damage here. But eventually they will just be defeated. Okay, so MbL finally going for Bloodlines in order to improve the HP of his calf archers. And once he does that, he can once again go for some raiding, even though the woodline now being secured for Viper due to this TC here. And we know Viper is a player who knows really well when to save his, or how to save his villagers there when he is being threatened, even though this was a bad showcase for that one. This gold's still really vulnerable, so he needs to make sure that this is being secured. Tarkans deal actually quite well against calf archers, but number-wise, these calf archers now are superior. Also, being uphill is not an advantage for Viper, more of a disadvantage. And this castle not doing too much, slowly but steadily massing up a couple of Tarkans, but they're used for defensive measures in order to deal with the incoming threat over here. You can see the attempt of trapping those calf archers has failed. Husbandry even incoming for MbL. Once that one kicks in, of course, kiting will be way easier for MbL. Well, I am not sure about this fight, guys, but I guess MbL wants to make sure that this TC goes up. But for that one, he sacrificed a lot of his army, and he'll actually lose his villagers here. I think this was a really bad move by MbL. I mean, the calf archers are kind of secured due to this little choke point. Still, they're facing Tarkans. It's not the best unit to fight against with the calf archers. There we go. It's one of the rare cases in which we see Tarkans and Castle Age like that. Okay, so that's that. Monastery is being added. Interesting choice. Scaleboarding armor for MbL. So now he has +1 on his knights as well. Another stable. Interesting choice. So I've said we're gonna see calf archers, and then I mean for Viper we would have seen knights plus skirms or something like this, but we didn't see anything like that. And also for MbL it's gonna be calf archers and knights. Of course, extremely strong combination, but super expensive concerning every resource. Okay, this is MbL's attempt to actually kill Viper here. This army is huge enough to actually create some damage here for sure, but Viper's base, at least the right hand side and northern side, is secured due to the TCs. And it's just now the question how Viper will deal with the situation, and it seems that he'll just go defensive once again in order to clean up this mess, because there's literally no way to deal with it unless he uses his army. Or he just goes all in here and takes down the TCs of MbL. This would be super brave. He's gonna go back, is he? Let's have a look. More Tarkans being added to the army. Yeah, okay, they're going home. Military count strictly in favor for MbL, 35 to 18. Villager count also better for MbL. This TC has been denied. All of a sudden, really bad situation. Now it's up to those Tarkans to deal the damage. And I believe Viper then needs to go back as soon as possible, because otherwise it's gonna be a back and forth all the time. And I believe Viper will lose this one afterwards, because MbL is the aggressor here, forcing Viper always to retreat. Enough time for MbL to have an unharmed base at home, messing up the numbers of vills. Eventually the army size will be increased, and so on. Chain barding armor also incoming. What about the resources? Well, nothing too spectacular. No one goes for imp right away. Siege workshop incoming though. I wonder why for MbL. Probably just mangonels to apply more pressure concerning buildings. But the Tarkans are obviously a big threat for any siege units. Oh, battering ram even. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So by the looks of it, I think MbL can win this one if he just goes inside now, unless those Tarkans, of course, are able to create a wonder here. I know how this one will work though. Because this threat here, how does he want to deal with this one? Unless he uses his army like that. Or will he just go for the TCs right away? I mean, Tarkans are able to do it. Just go for the TCs. Ignore everything else, go for the TCs. There we go. Let's see. So who's gonna kill the TCs of each other faster? Both are losing their bases here. What a messy game. Okay, so Viper on the verge of minimizing the numbers of MbL's villagers. Base trading about to take place, but it looks worse for Viper in my opinion. Way worse. As the number of units here for MbL is so much better. These CCs here, man. Even for oh my god, what does he do? Okay, so the Tarkans are inside as well. This is interesting to see, right? I've said it back and forth, or both players just go all in here. They actually do. Problem for Viper is that he cannot do too much. His resources are just really bad here. He only has gold and nothing else. For MbL, it looks different as he has access to a lot of resources, therefore massing up an army of knights. I believe that he will win this one like that. Viper will try to continue as long as he can, but once he loses the army of Tarkans that he has, it's going to be over for him. Alright, villager numbers are just equal now. Many idle villages for both pairs. Oh my god, look at this mess. Look at this mess. I think Viper won't be able to get out of the situation anymore. And there we go. GG, and not even anything from MbL this time. Well, guys. Those things, man, they just happen. All of a sudden the score is 2-0. Therefore, it's match point for MbL. It's a best of 5. Viper now needs to win the upcoming 3 games. Otherwise, he's out. This, of course, would be really surprising. I mean, surprising in terms of Viper being one of the most hyped and, of course, the strongest players around. But MbL is simply not to be underestimated on Arabia. It's just a clear fact. Someone who has actually understood how to play Arabia. Maybe he's not good on other maps, like Viper, who's extremely, well, probably the most versatile player. But when it comes to Arabia, just don't mess with MbL. And by don't mess, I mean better go for conventional strats instead of thinking too much outside of the box and doing some kind of game-breaking things. For instance, Viper vs Spring was a showcase for that one. But with MbL, I would be careful. I wouldn't think it's beyond the Viper to turn this one around. He's done that before so often. Well, he has done that, that's for sure. He's known to be, the master baiter. But I still think, facing the fact that MbL is in front of him, someone who's improved so much in the past year, it's just not to be underestimated, in my opinion. Okay, so time for game number 3. Number 3 incoming, there we go. Yeah, but I mean, Christian, I get your point as well. So we both have the right arguments here. We just need to keep in mind that everything is evolving and continuing. So of course, what you say makes perfect sense as well. So without further ado, guys, let's just tune in with game number 3 between Viper and MbL in the semifinals of Legacy of the Huns. I just want to quickly check out something. I still didn't fix these moving tiles here. It looks odd, doesn't it? Oh yeah. Other than that, beautiful deserts here due to this new visual mod. And those beautiful trees, man. There we go. So let's just start with MbL for a change in the northwest that he is. Wow. Okay. This is re-worthy, to say the least. Look at the distance between his TC and the woodlines. This doesn't look good at all, does it? Well, I wouldn't say that it looks good. The other resources, gold in the front, kind on the front, I mean to the side on this ugly hill. Stone in the front, second stone to the side, another ugly hill. I say ugly because of the disadvantage that you get with having resources on hills. Second goal also far away. I mean, I'm not sure if MbL would call this one a rematch. Maybe it's just an opportunity for him to go for a dirty trick here. Go for some, I know, some trush or something like that. Let's see. Viper lost the series against MbL and NAC, where MbL reverse swept him. What is NAC? NAC is Neely's apartment cup, exactly, Iberg. I was there as well, as many other people as well, and it was really great to see all of these people like that, and indeed, this was really interesting, even though we have to keep in mind that the match between Viper and MbL wasn't, so to speak, important anymore, as he was already part of the finals then. Yeah, it was definitely a fun tournament, and it was really great to meet all the players and to talk to them. Including these two players, man, including these two great players. So yeah, this base, like I've said, not the best at all. It's really, I guess it's just simply bad. I guess I gotta say it like that. So in the southeast, we got Viper. And wow, he also has a bad map. All of his resources in the front. Wow. Woodline, it's okay, it's fine. But yeah, this is, wow. Wow, MbL needs to put down 2 towers. This is already zoned then. Let him just start with a tower here, for instance. Another one here. Or here and here. And then here and then here. And then GG, basically. There's some other resources close by as well. That will depend on Viper's scouting here. We see that MbL's already trying to get as many information as he can. Viper knows about the gold resources that he has. What about MbL's knowledge about Viper's base? Let's see if we will find out about the secondary resources as well. I think MbL needs to go, I don't know, something like even... Actually, I mean, I don't want to say it, that he wants to go for a Trush, that he should go for a Trush, because I am a super big Trush hater. This is normal Arabia, therefore Trushes, of course, are extremely viable. But this base, just go for Trush. Gotta say it. Both are clicking up with 21 pop. And looking at the resources, wow, this woodline, man. But that's happening. So MbL probably gonna scrush here. Viper sees that, and Viper himself is about to do the same. Double scout rush. So we see unconventionally bad maps, but see conventional gameplay by both. Viper already with more map knowledge, it seems. Just according to the score here. And yeah, that is the current situation, ladies and gentlemen. And when that is done, as in when the feudal age progression is finally complete, I'm curious to see which scout rush will be more effective here in this case. Let's have a look. Right, so MbL is also pushing Deer. That will, of course, greatly improve his scout rush. Make it way more viable to go for both scout production as well as going for the economy things, horse collar and double with X. But the same is also for, true for Viper. I guess he didn't even push his Deer, did he? No, he's doing it right now. Okay, okay. Like I said, classical approaches by both. I didn't expect it. But for MbL, of course, he goes for Spearman right away. I guess Viper should do the same. He doesn't do it yet, though. Yeah, this is typical MbL, going to the front with a Spearman or two, just to make sure that the incoming scouts are having a tough time. And boom, one. Oh, this is already really good for MbL. So important that one poke already was enough, but two, perfect. Great stuff already. Okay, also this walling was not successful. Therefore Viper all of a sudden in troubles. Having huge troubles here, dealing with this, with these spearmen approaching, as well as 3 scouts in total. And yeah. Let's have a look, guys. Let's have a look how this one will evolve. So just to point out, if MbL wins this one, Viper is out of the game here. Just saying. Berg is already pointing out here, also pointing out, I mean, that this was a nice denial of the deer, which is true. Of course. It's those little things that count as well. Immensely, of course. Especially if both are, I mean, this is a mirror match, and basically a mirror strat here that we're seeing. Of course, then the little things are extremely important. Therefore, really good stuff here for now from MbL. Ooh, he's lost this scout though. That's, of course, really unfortunate. But things like that simply happen. MbL's getting gold right now, so we will see the transition into archers soon, I believe, soon. And yeah, I just didn't realize I've clicked on it and looked at it and I couldn't understand why we see a second stable with Viper. Wow, for a second I thought I received a follow there, because for a second I even thought I was on my own stream. That was my follow sound. At least the part of it. Wow, I just had a little DemEyes confused moment, but yeah. Especially this second stable here, an indication that Viper will not stop producing more scouts. Maybe we will see full fuel once again. Having 2 stables like that is certainly a sign for that one. Also, the slow increase of farms could be a way. Blacksmith incoming, market incoming. So if he gets the defensive upgrade, I'm pretty convinced that we will see Viper in this age for a bit longer. MbL on the other hand though, with 7 villages on gold, with the ambitions to click up. Okay, but Viper now here to cause a lot of damage. Let's see how successful he's gonna be. For now there are a lot of spearmen. Impressive enough though for MbL to have that much food, but at the same time Viper the one going for scouts as well as bloodlines now. Makes sense why Viper's a little bit behind concerning the food count, because he's investing as heavily into his scouts, of course. Alright, now that he has bloodlines, he can engage in fights way better, especially facing spearmen. Well, the defensive scale boarding armor, there we go. The defensive upgrade is going to be also really important. these spearmen, number-wise, is really, really scary for sure. Viper needs to be really careful what he does. Alright. Blacksmith also incoming for MbL. That's going to be important in order to get fletching. Alright, and this base is about to be fully walled up. And once that is done, of course, Viper can't be doing too much of terrible, scary, futile things. Instead, MbL clicking up here. I just wonder what Viper will do, and yeah, he's gonna click up as well. This is the wiser choice, as MbL has now is fully walled up, and therefore these scouts won't be creating that much of a troublesome situation for his opponent. Third archer range incoming, so we're gonna see crossbows most likely, and then finally we're gonna see, of course, the calf archers. That depends though how well these archers will do. If they die, of course, I don't see any reason to go for crossbows anymore. Let's see, logically he should be producing more archers, because what else do you want to do when going for the next age? Looks good. Alright. So, as I've said it, crossbowmen bot in a row, and then finally, hopefully, yeah, calf archers, there we go. DemEyes confusion. And we see skirmishes by Viper. Okay, he's anticipating the situation here, as he saw that many archers. He knows that MbL won't go full crossbows or something like this. It's just an indication that he just wanted to do something with his archer ranges, and therefore he is looking out for any incoming archery type of units, especially calf archers. This is his way of dealing with it. Instead of going for a siege workshop, he wants to do it like that. And with that one, he will be able to build a second or third TC sooner, theoretically speaking, unless he goes crazy on elite skirms. Let's have a look. So both players will go for more TCs for given reasons, as no one goes for knights now, or pure knights or something like this. Even though Viper getting light cars because he has a decent number of scouts already, and they will do even better when facing those armies of MbL when they are upgraded. Husbandry will boost their speed as well. And a couple of knights, why not? As he already has bloodlines as well as the armor upgrades. It just makes sense here. Alright, so at the same time, Viper also going for calf archers. Makes sense. There's the meta, 1v1 Huns war. Part of the meta, I mean. Alright, so Viper slowly but steadily putting on the pressure. Christian says, finally we see the meta. Finally, because we have never been able to watch it. Of course, we're constantly seeing some kind of meta here. But of course, the real meta is gonna show up in Imperial Age. If you've watched my previous cast of Legacy of the Huns, there's this secret... I know, not game-breaking, not at all game-breaking, but I just miss the real word here. But game-changing, let's go with game-changing. Meta that is, of course, Tarkans. An Imperial Age when you get Marauders, as well as a +4 defense, and ideally also the attack, then yeah, well, good luck, good luck. Good luck. People like Viper, Spring, even Compton, but also, of course, Stark. They just fully aware of the strengths of Tarkan's den. And that has changed due to the addition of Volo Kingdoms. This wasn't like that before. But of course, this is just something that could show up in the late game. For now, we are in mid game, Castle Age. And Ballistics incoming for Viper in order to improve his elite skirms. But also coming in a little bit late, in my opinion. But of course, we can understand that he uses all of his resources to mass up the army that he has, 31 military number, and MbL with 25. But no trash units involved in this case. For MbL, we see a Mangonel, Calf Archers, as well as crossbows. Of course, Mangonels do really well when facing these units here, but when they are being sniped like this, they don't do too much. This was a really good kill for Viper. Super expensive for MbL. Okay, so quick wall by MbL, or as Stark would call it, 20-second walls. If you see the enemy approaching here, you just have a couple of seconds left to wall it off here. And yeah, it was enough to keep Viper out now. Question is going to be, how long does he want to stay in this defensive stance? Not for too long, as he's now going forward and he has a decent army of Mangonels as well behind his Calf Archers. If he engages in the right fights, Viper could be done. But the opposite is also true. Could be true, I mean. So let's see. Another arch range being added, therefore Viper will go crazy on Calf Archers. He has 3 TCs though, so good decisions to go for the 4th arch range just after kicking in with his economy. Same could be possible for MbL, but as he has chosen the Siege Workshop for now, he's gonna go for 3 archery ranges and Calf Archers as well as a bit of siege units. In addition, he has elite skirms incoming, just in case. Well, I'm curious about this one. Doesn't he trust his Mangonels like that, or does he have another reason? Maybe a backup plan? I'm not a fan of emergency plans in Age of Empires, therefore I'm not sure why he went for elite skirms right away. It's not like he has a huge army of skirms walking around somewhere. It's just in case he loses this army, or if he's forced to go back. Okay, so the Mangonels now able to strike. Oh, 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 come on. He had such an opportunity. Oh. Okay. Viper now has the opportunity to surround his enemy. From 3 directions, he's slowly but steadily approaching. While MbL is in the middle on this hill. He needs to make sure not to lose his Mangonels. He has his Knights for that one. Those Knights have no upgrade whatsoever, just Bloodlines. Clear sign that he just wants to use them as a stronger meat shield. And now, ooh, good strike there already. Viper now needs to pay super attention here, otherwise he's gonna lose everything. Merch number is still in favor for Viper. Nice shot by the Mangonel. More nice shots incoming, it seems. Yeah, but this is Viper we are talking about. It's not like, oh, Viper did a mistake. Oh, what a mistake. He's fully aware of everything here. He sees everything. There we go. Look at these little maneuvers that he does. It's just incredible. He is downhill. He is downhill. Can we just point this out as well, please? He is downhill. And look what he does. Look what he does. Oh my god, man. He was downhill all the time. Incredible move by Viper. And now, MbL's backup plan, elite skirms. It doesn't look too good for him. The fact that he had this emergency plan, in my opinion, it's kind of a half-hearted front move then. If he goes for this first move with, okay, I have my calf archers, and just in case I lose him, I go for something else. This means that he's investing resources for something else at this very time. That is his backup plan. Therefore, his initial attack is not as strong as it could be. That's one thing. For now, he gets into a good fight though, as Viper wasn't paying too much attention, it seems. But that is only because he has a secondary plan that is on his left-hand side, in which one scout was already causing a little bit of havoc. But now, these villagers will have a tough time. One by one, they will die. And it's GG. Wow. Wow. The highlight of the game? Do I need to point it out? This one here. Wow. Really good stuff by Viper. I'm sure MbL was quite mad at this very fight here. Even I would have imagined it could have turned out otherwise, but wow. For sure, well played indeed. GG. Okay, so all of a sudden, Viper with his first point scores 1 for Viper and 2 for MbL. This is a best of 5, therefore it's not over yet, guys. The people who are wondering if this is a best of 3 or something like this. Okay. Now we're going back again to entertain you with my face here. And that is only done in order for me to go into the next game, of course. Let's have a look here. I'm still in Discord because I was casting with Timo. Out of here. Let's get out of here. Okay, we got that one. So let's load the next game, shall we? We have a long session in front of us. This is only the semifinals, guys. Okay, game number 4 incoming right now. Game is starting, as you can see. And without further ado, as I like to say, let's jump in straight into the next matchup. So what's up, everyone? Ooh, now we got the original colors finally. Bless, Lord bless. And yeah, game number 4, Viper versus MbL, I mean. And yeah, let's start with Viper, who has chosen the right colors this time. At least according to my mindset. And looking at this right away, we can see bad gold to the side, bad second gold in the front, bad second stone in the front. Where is his first stone, by the way? Is it gone for good? There. Oh my god. Wow. This is really bad, man. This is really bad. The score should be right. Or is there a problem? Christian was saying, yeah, the blue bar up top should be correct, right? So it's 2-1, or 1-2, so to speak. And MbL still leading, having his match point here. Viper trying to win this somehow. He needs to win this match and the next one. Alright, it's good. Okay, cool. Thanks. Wow. Yeah, I mean, wood-wise, what do you want to go for? For this one or this one? He chooses in this one. But I guess from Viper we see something like this. He actually goes for... I mean, just if you just take a picture of this one, it looks better now. Because it's not on a hill, first of all. But yeah, he had similar maps in Battle of Africa. So yeah, it's just extremely bad, to say the least. His opponent on the left-hand side of this map here, slightly to the north. I was going to say he has bugged sheep, but he hasn't. And yeah, what can we save? Wood in the front, wood in the back, to the side at least. This part is definitely wallable here. This is fully open though, and this is where his important resources are. His gold, his stone, another stone, and the other gold is over here. So it's also not the best map, but the one of Viper is significantly worse, I gotta say. Yeah, indeed. Berg is saying MbL's map is so nice in comparison, that's for sure. I mean, let's have a look at this one once again. Where is this wood line? There? No. There? No, but it's there. 4 villages on wood, by the way. Could be that we can see a man-at-arms incoming or a fast castle or something like that. This map is not viable for a fast castle, I'm just saying it right now. But who knows, who knows. We're talking about Viper. Capable of many magical things here. But so is his opponent. Therefore, let's stay tuned and have a close look here. For now, 3 villages on wood here. Just an indication that he's not gonna go for anything concerning Drush or Man-at-Arms or something like this. More likely gonna be a Scrush or who knows. Who knows. For now, looks quite okay. Both are just doing their job. Viper's pushing Deer. MbL is doing the same. And he's struggling to find this sheep here. Batista's asking, what about Jordan? Is he still active in the game? Yes, sir. I've met him a couple of weeks ago and he's still active. He's part of the secret team. And he's still there. He's participating in the ECL. And while he is not playing top-notch anymore, I mean due to his time not playing, he's just doing his best to catch up again, and yeah, he just needs to get used to all the recent changes that we had in this game, balance changes, civ additions, and so on. But still, he's definitely out there doing his stuff. Okay, let's have a look what's gonna happen. So the barracks are up for Viper, but we don't see too much coming out of that. It's 2 wood lines. All of a sudden, is it gonna be a scrush once again? Interesting stuff. I didn't expect this one. For MbL, we see similar moves. No gold for neither of the players. Both have clicked up. MbL is up earlier. Hit a tiny bit of idle time though. Let me do. No, it's perfect. It's perfect. Tiny bit of idle time. What am I saying, man? DemEyes mathematic. It's all good. It's just perfect. What it is time-wise. Exactly 25 seconds difference. So yeah, it's gonna be 22 pop versus 21 pop. Viper is going to be up later. I am not sure if this is the right thing to go for, as he is in a desperate situation in which he should strike first. Well, let's see. MbL now going for horse color double decks. That is also part of the scrush. You normally go for these kind of techs. They somehow go hand in hand, as 2K players have taught me throughout my streams on my own channel. Oh yeah, this is good, this is good. The scout of Viper is about to die here. Just 1 HP left. And yeah, we can see it. Both are going for the scouts. And therefore, really interesting to point out that Viper still clicking up later. Due to the fact that he has 1 more villager, and I'm not sure if I'm okay with this decision, as this whole base is a mess. He's gonna have to... I don't know, 1 spearman won't be enough to protect it, as all of his resources are scattered around. Even this year he has to go for the deer on that hill. Certainly not the best situation. What happened to Tyrants? All top players joined some... No, new team. No, this is the new team. Yeah, Team Secret is a team. I mean, not for all Tyrants though. There are also... I mean, they differentiate between... they have two categories in Tyrants. I guess Legends and Warriors, as they call it, or something like this. But yeah, of course, the top players of Tyrants, they've switched over to Secret. That is Viper, Jordan, Doubts, Tato, and Slam. Many of the other Brazilian players of Tyrants moved over to Brazucas. Warlords, there we go. Thanks so much, back. Warlords. And there we go. There we go. MbL now able to get 2 villagers already. What the heck? Okay, this looked like as if they didn't have any loom, but no, it's all fine. It's all fine. And what's more is that these good reaction by Viper, because otherwise MbL would have landed a couple of pokes there. And MbL doing the thing that he likes to go for, that is just walling up here. But not that kind of stark walling up, it's just the little turtle wall up that he goes for, just to secure his base from any incoming scouts, for instance. And therefore he doesn't have to go for Spearman that heavily, allowing him to click up earlier, as he wants to transition into cast stage as soon as possible, ideally. Path Daddy doesn't like the walls here, right? I mean, you can understand. And yeah, we can see it in a contrast. Viper doesn't go for walls. I mean, how do you want to wall this map here anyway? But doesn't mean that Viper never goes for walls. We saw that yesterday when I was casting Viper versus Spring. There, Viper had a triple parasite wall, and was even going for a 4th one. So yeah, it's all the players have their times when they go for walls. And Berg is correct. A lot of things changed recently just. So if Batista came back, let's say a year ago, many things would have been the same. But in the beginning of this year, for instance, it was Tato joining Tyrants. After that one, recently, a couple of weeks ago, Team Secret and so on. All of those things happening, man. So I don't know, Path Daddy, if going for triple walls as a kind of disrespect, YOLO disrespect, is necessarily better than having a single layer, just to play it slightly safely here. But I mean, it's all about taste, and I can understand if people say, okay, I don't like this too much. Oh. What I don't like is this here. Viper was a little bit too easy on his quick parasite gates. Therefore now is instead of the base, MbL now is in the base of Viper here. He has Forging, also Bloodlines. Therefore the pressure is on right now. Spearmen have died. And all of a sudden, Viper in a really bad situation, forced to go back here, and of course now the disadvantages of his base get really obvious here. Oh wow. Oh yeah, for your information, Katsune is also part of the team here still. But I'm not him. And I fully understood what Bark is saying about playing this game for such a long time already. Yeah, I had my hands on this game pretty much when it came out, 2 decades ago. And of course I've just played it as a little boy, man. I had no idea. But now we're all here, aren't we? Enjoying this beautiful view of seeing so many competent players playing this highly addictive but also super thought-based game, in which on higher levels ideas matter a lot, creativity but also execution. It's really, really important here. That's for sure, man. Shoutouts to Katsuni. Okay, so as we're talking here, we can see that MbL finally also encapsulated in a couple of seconds. Viper already there, and it seems that all of what happened was a kind of damage here for Viper, especially. He is down with 4 villages at least. And the next move is going to be quite classical. Calf arches. Hashtag meta. And for MbL, though, we see something else. As he has this decent amount of scouts out already, he can of course transition into, not transition into, just improve his scouts that he has into light calves. And now all of a sudden they're tankier, stronger, and more viable as a kind of raiding unit, as well as a good and strong upgraded meat shield. Okay, so I like this transition into elite scrums because if you already have your fair amount of scrums out, why not improving them right away when you're facing calf archers? Just make sure that the knights that are not upgraded, by the way, just having bloodlines, they don't get their hands on them, right? But this is saying that MbL has changed a lot as well. Around a couple of years ago, he was a 17x player, Black Forest. Oh yeah, of course he's improved a lot. I know people who were playing with him together in a clan years ago, and yeah, things were different. But he's young and he has ambitions and talented for sure. Alright, so as you can see, guys, MbL is doing his best to keep Viper busy. The villager count all of a sudden, oh, not all of a sudden, I was going to say it was quite equal, but there's still 3 to 4 villager difference. Good for MbL, of course. Having a look at his base, he has a second TC in addition, and university incoming in order to get ballistics as soon as possible. Furthermore, we see more archer ranges for Viper. We see more archer ranges for TheViper. An indication with 5 archer ranges that he will most likely stay with just 1 TC for a longer time and just maximize the army numbers here. For now he needs to be really careful though, because the combination of MbL's units is just good enough to keep Viper busy for a longer time. Unless, of course, MbL engages in bad fights, such as this one if he continues like that. Unless he micros well. I needs to be careful for sure. Alright, let's have a look at the calf fighters in comparison. It is MbL with the additional defense, +2 defense that he has. So that's good, of course. Yeah, and I agree. Streaming while playing is a tough thing. If you imagine that Viper is streaming while he's playing, and also in tournaments, of course, I always think that it's a bit of a distraction there for him playing. But he does well, of course. He's a good multitasking person. And if he wants to focus, he can just stop interacting with the Twitch chat for, let's say, a few minutes or so. Let's see. For now, it looks quite good for MbL as he's slowly getting up on this hill. And actually, he called it GG. I was going to say, guys. Wow, it's over. I didn't imagine it to be over that fast, even though, I mean, I actually imagined it to be over when MbL was super successful with the scouts. But then I thought, okay, it's now stabilized. Viper has not called it GG. I think he has a trick. But MbL made it. And Viper's out. Viper's out. I don't believe it. Because the score is now 3-1 And of course, with one game left, Viper could not catch up anymore. And therefore, MbL proceeds and is part of the finals of Legacy of the Huns, while Viper moves forward and goes for the losers final, in which he will meet his opponent that you've seen in nobody's stream on TheViper Official. That is the winner of that semi-final game. Let me just think of it. That was Yo versus Vivi, and Vivi has lost. Therefore, Viper will meet Vivi, and Yo is in the finals against MbL. Yeah, there's no need for a fifth game. And we will just continue, guys. It's not over yet. Because we will continue to cast these matches, of course. So the stream is not over at all. Let me just, oh, sorry for that one. Normally I switch in time. I'll just quickly check the schedule here, just to make sure that I'm really correct here with what I have done here. And indeed, it's 3-1 for MbL, and Yo has won 3-1 against Vivi. If you are interested in watching that match, you can just tune in our YouTube. It's YouTube on YouTube. Just type in TheViper Official. There you can see a lot of casts from us. And nobody took care of Yo versus Vivi there. Yo has won 3-1. Now we will watch TheViper versus Vivi. That's the game about yeah, the third place, so to speak, the losers final, let's say, or the bronze final. That sounds maybe better, even though losers final is just accurate. And the final is going to be MbL versus Yo. Both of these matchups we're going to watch tonight. I'm going to cast them, and ideally you're going to watch me. I mean, you're going to watch me casting it, not going to watch me. Let's quit this weird phrasing of mine. Wow, what am I actually saying? And for that one, I just need to quickly peek into in this thing called AoE zone, and get my hands on these games. Just a second. Bear with me there, guys. Bear with me. Alright, tournaments. Tournaments. Alright. It's actually not a current tournament anymore, so it's a past tournament. And there we go. Oh my god, it's quite... Yeah, I'll just look it up. Legacy of the Huns. Okay. So where is it actually saved? There we go. Recorded games. Perfecto. TheViper versus Vivi. Alright, there we go. To scroll up to download it. Voila, there we go. Oh, I've actually downloaded it already. Well, fail. Did I? Where is it? Oh, there we go. Indeed. So I can still download the finals here. That is Yo versus MbL. There we go. Wait a second, the finals is actually best of 7? No, it's best of 5, alright. Fake news, man, fake news. Okay, so with the bronze final, we'll continue, and then afterwards, logically, we'll watch the grand final. And that being said, I'll just have a quick break here, as I'm streaming for a couple of hours already, as in I'll be back in a minute. Just grab something to drink and go to the bathroom, most importantly. Just gonna tune in with me music here, my own music, and I'll be back in a second. For that, I'll just quickly turn off the cam here, because it doesn't make too much sense for you to watch my you know what, just screw it. Just have a look at my chair here, because Mem does the same. So enjoy that one. And I'll be back in a second. Sabri ne haber? Az sonra geri döneceğim. Bu kanal kimin yahu? Chat stream indeed, man. Alright, I'm back. I'm back. Whew. Man, I need to go. Okay, so enough with those kind of interesting and relevant information. And yeah. So without further ado, well, let me cough there for a second. Sorry about this one, I just took a breath the wrong way. God. Alright, so I think we're ready. At least I am ready. I don't know about you guys, but I am ready. I am ready. That is of course the bronze final. Just gonna load it there. Where is it? How's it called? Okay, there we go. Now there it is. Viper. Oh, I actually need to update the scoreboard here real quick. Otherwise, that will be awkward, of course. But thankfully, those things won't be mentioned in the YouTube upload then, because this part will be cut out. So I'll just leave Viper in there and just change the right name to Vivi. That way it'll be easier for me to adjust the scoreboard right away. Also the score I need to update. Boom and bada boom, there we go.